welcome to Canterbury Live. It's Tuesday the 7th of July. I'm Lisa and I'll be filling in for the rest of the week while Andrea is away on a little bit of a family holiday. So drive safe, Andrea, and we'll be thinking of you. Now, I've got a few giveaways to start the show. What a great way to start the day. Now, first up, we have this beautiful painting by Ira Mitchell-Kirk. She was in just the other day chatting to Andrea. Absolutely beautiful. That could be all yours. But that's not all. We've also got some tickets to give away to The 12th Man by Casanova Productions. They were in the other day as well, so you don't want to miss that. Now, very simple. All you need to do is give us a call on 3777 033. Couldn't be simpler. Marianne will be waiting for your call. Or you can go to our Facebook page, give us a like and have a look at the info on there. That's all you need to do. Couldn't make it any easier for you, and you could be checking out that performance or grabbing that painting for yourself. Now, someone who will be checking out a performance, congratulations to Nikki Jameson, who has won tickets to the Christchurch performance of Circus All Sorts. Hope you enjoy yourself with that one. All right, we've got a big show today, so let's get straight into it. We've got EECA's Robert, who caught up with Andrea before she went away to talk ventilation. Very important. The lovely Phyllis Brown is in to talk personality types, so I'm quite excited to find out a little bit more about that. Riccarton players are in. I've seen them out the back. They're all dressed up, looking fantastic. They'll be in to talk about The Emperor's New Clothes, a play that they've got coming up. But first, let's take a look at what they're making today on Nourish.
School holidays now, and it's always really fun to do a cooking activity with the kids to keep them entertained in the holidays. So today we're going to make hummus. Going to make a pumpkin flavoured hummus with all the different flavoured hummuses that you could buy at the supermarkets these days. It's nice to be able to do something a little bit different than just the standard one. And it's something that the kids love eating, and it's a great way to get their veggies into them as well. So we're just going to start with a can of chickpeas. So just drain the liquid out because you might need to add that a bit later. Nice to have the stock there from the chickpeas. So pop those into the blender. This is a really quick, easy recipe. And so I've just got some cumin there, a tablespoon of cumin, a teaspoon of cumin, and just about 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I've got a little bit of garlic there, straight in, and some tahini, which is sesame seed paste. And just add a couple of tablespoons of that in there. Gives it a really nice, lovely flavour and also a nice creamy texture as well. So just put that straight in there. Now don't forget the lemon juice, that's really important, a really lovely flavour coming from the lemon juice there. So just squeeze in about 1 lemon in there. All right. And it's about 100 grams of pumpkin, so about 1/4 of a small pumpkin chopped up and roasted. And if you roast it with some salt and pepper, it gives it a really lovely depth of flavour as well to go in there. I find the sweeter pumpkins, the butternut pumpkin, is particularly nice for this recipe. So I'm just going to give that a whiz. You'll find that it might need a bit extra. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, but I also might add just a little bit of that liquid out of the chickpea tin. So that does loosen it up quite nicely, and I'll just add a little bit of oil just at the end there. And you can have it a little bit chunkier or quite smooth and quite thin, just however you prefer it. And it also depends what you're using it for really as well. It's got a beautiful pumpkin-y colour there as well. You can see the orange coming through in it nicely. So I'll just give that one more quick whiz. Right, that looks great. And also add a little bit of salt and pepper to that if you wanted to. We're just going to dish that up. We've got a platter here all set up, so I've just got some chopped vegetables and also got some tortilla bread, just with a little bit of garlic salt on it and a little bit of spray oil, and popped in the oven. It only takes about 3 or 4 minutes, doesn't take long at all. So I love the colour of that, and you can see the little speckles of a little bit of pumpkin in there as well. And I just like to top that with a few roasted pumpkin seeds. So I've just popped those in a pan with a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt and pop them on there. You could also put some dukkha on there, you could put some chopped nuts on there, just whatever your children like. But a really good school holiday opportunity. Nice to have the kids cutting up the veggies as well and hopefully eating some along the way. And they can dip that in there. You can use it if there's any left over, use that for a spread and sandwiches the next day, or you can even use it on some meat or something like that. So great easy recipe there, just something a little bit different for the normal hummus.
Join me after the break when I talk to the cast of The Emperor's New Clothes. Welcome back. Now, joining me are the fantastic looking cast of The Emperor's New Clothes. We've got Sarah, who plays Alice. We've got Merrin, who is the Queen of Hearts. And we've got Annette, who is the Prime Minister. Welcome along.
Thank you.
Now, some of you have been here before. You've been back in the day, a wee while ago you're in, and you've been in before as well, that's right. So tell me about this play that you've got going on. It's happening during Kids Fest, that's right, isn't it?
Yes, it's The Emperor's New Clothes, and it's sort of loosely based on the story. And there's a few old characters that aren't usually in the story, mainly because there was a costume available and to make it a bit different.
So we were just talking about this, and you've actually got somebody with the Riccarton Players who writes and adapts plays and things for you guys to do.
Yes, it's Doug Clark, and he's pretty much Mr. Riccarton.
Mr. Riccarton, I love it.
Yeah, and does a lot of directing and stuff like that. And yeah, he's wrote it, and it was performed about 20 years ago.
So you're bringing it back.
Bringing it back, yeah.
Oh, big shoes to fill then. All right, so tell me about your character then. So you're Alice?
Yep, I'm Alice in Wonderland, and I've got a bit of an attitude. And I'm a bit suspicious about the sort of villains of the show and trying to figure them out.
It sounds so interesting having these different characters coming into a play that you're so used to. So definitely something to go along and take a look at. Now, Merrin, you're Queen of Hearts. Tell me a little bit about your character.
I have a lot more attitude than her.
Well, you're a queen, so you have to, don't you?
I am very demanding. My favourite phrase, obviously, is off with their heads.
Oh, yeah.
And things have to go my way and people have to do what I say. It's fantastic.
So this is definitely something the kids are going to love then, aren't they? I can tell there's going to be a lot of laughter in it. And Merrin, tell me, Annette, sorry, tell me a little bit about your character.
As the Prime Minister, I'm one of 3 Ministers of State. We're not the sharpest tools in the shed.
Is that because you're playing a male character?
I would normally agree, yes. But we live in fear of the Queen of Hearts because she's done nasty things to our families, and we, you know, the baddies also have a go at us, and yes. So.
All right, so how long have you actually spent preparing for this performance? Because I know you do a lot of other plays and you sort of pick up new ones as you go along. How long have you spent on this one?
Rehearsals started mid-June, was it? And me and Annette sort of came in a bit later because we're in another one. So it was a very short rehearsal time, but...
So you're quite busy then?
Yeah.
Yes. Love it, love it. Now, I've done a little bit of theatre myself, and I just asked you before, where is the show happening so that people can come along?
Yep, it's at Hagley Open Stage, and it's on Thursday, Friday at 7, and 11 and 2 on Saturday, Sunday, and the following week.
Goodness me, you're going to be tired after all of those. Because I used to actually do a bit of acting and things, and I was at the Hagley Theatre Company. So it's cool that you were performing in the open stage there as well. Memories going back there. So if people are wanting to get tickets, how can they do that?
If they go onto the Riccarton Players website, and they can book tickets there. And there's also will be door sales as well.
We've got a wee poster up there so people can have a look. It looks like it's a fantastic show for the whole family, not just for the kids, something to take them out, have something to do during the school holidays. Very, very cool. So, I'm wanting to know, we've got 3 lovely ladies here. Tell me a bit about some of the male characters then.
Well, actually, I sort of have a few scenes with the knave, the Queen of Hearts' son, sort of a bit of almost a romantic sort of thing, you know. There's also the King Emperor, who, yes,
Again, maybe not the sharpest.
not the sharpest tool.
I'm getting a bit of a theme here for the male characters. Not always the smartest ones.
Yep, and the villains are played by women, but they are meant to be male characters as well.
Ah, okay.
And yeah.
So how does the story sort of follow along with the original Emperor's New Clothes, but draw in all of these other new sort of ideas that it's got going on?
It sort of starts out with characters that aren't usually in it, and then we sort of get to the middle of the show where it starts to the story starts to actually develop, and
it goes sort of follows along what the idea that people
plots,
that people will sort of know a little bit more about. Now we talked about during the break your lovely costumes, and I asked who actually makes these, or do you guys have to do it? Do you find them? Do you have somebody in charge of that? Tell me a wee bit about that.
Yeah, we have a wardrobe mistress, and she sort of has a supply of costumes. She also makes some if need be. And
so do you guys get involved with that as well? Have you ever had to sort of get in there sewing and making things?
I've been doing,
I was going to say, you look like someone who knows what you're doing.
I've been doing quite a lot of repairs. The costumes have been used before, and
because they do in theatre, don't they? They get used and reused and reshaped and all sorts of things, recoloured even, things like that, so that you can use them on so many different people for so many different characters in shows and things. So you've been involved with
short arms.
I guess there's a lot of alterations that need making as well. So tell me then, Miriam, what's your favourite part of this play?
Oh, I get to have a giant tantrum at the end of the first act, and I get to do a lot of screaming and storming around, and that's my favourite part.
That would be fun to go along to rehearsals and just be allowed to yell and scream. Yes. Very quickly, favourite line out of the play, of yours?
Ooh, of mine. It's a very good question. Actually, don't know the answer to that. I'm trying to think one of my lines.
What about you two? A favourite line?
I love when I come out and Prime Minister, I'm ashamed of you.
And what about you then, Prime Minister?
Gosh, I don't know. I think when the villains are being quite nasty to me, and I say, I'm the Prime Minister.
I can picture some Prime Minister pulling that out himself sometimes, occasionally. Now, this is definitely a show that you want to take your family along to. You want to take the kids, get them out of the house. Make sure you do. The Riccarton Players with the Emperor's New Clothes. They've told you how to find the tickets. I'm sure you can look it up if you've forgotten. Look it up online and grab yourself some. Fantastic work. Thanks so much, guys, and good luck for the show.
Thank you.
Now, Andrea caught up to find out about importance of ventilation. Take a wee look.
Rightio, it's all time to get wise about our energy, and we're joined by the Superman himself of energy, Mr. Robert Linterman, the General Manager for ECA. Welcome back to Canterbury Live. Now, last time we were talking about insulation and the importance of it. Now it's about the ventilation.
Ventilation's really good, important, because what we need to do is get moisture out of our house but keep it warm. So we generate a lot of moisture in our house from cooking and even breathing, even ironing, things like that, drying the washing inside, which is an absolute no-no. So we need to make sure that for at least 30 minutes a day that you open your doors and windows, let some fresh air in. Get rid of the moist air out of your house. Key to it also is to have an extractor fan in your bathrooms and an extractor fan in your kitchen. So when you're cooking, the moist air from your cooking goes outside, and when you're having a shower or a bath, the moist air goes outside and isn't reticulated back into your house.
So you're telling us here in Canterbury, it's freezing at the moment, we have to open up our windows?
Yes, just for 30 minutes a day during the middle of the day when it's quite warm, and it gets warm during the middle of the day in Christchurch. I used to live here, so there you go. I know,
Occasionally.
I know. So, yeah, it is important, because what it does is if you don't open your doors and windows, the longer you leave those closed, the more moisture gets into your house, and that's really bad for you. Creates mould, creates dampness, creates crying windows.
Rightio. Now, you just touched on something before, not drying your clothes inside. Are you talking about the errors, the clothes errors?
Absolutely. It's a big no-no. So for every load of washing that you dry inside your house, you put 5 litres of water into the air of your house.
Crikey.
So, Andrea, how many clothes horses have you got?
One for 3, maybe, sort of, kind of, but... Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, so it's not good. So if you're doing that, there's no other way that you can dry your clothes, so open a window while you're doing that. But really good, when you get home and you want to take the clothes off a clothes horse, just open the windows for half an hour and let that damp air get out and let some dry air come in, and that'll be a lot better for you. But running something like a dehumidifier would be really good, so that would suck moisture out of the air and keep your home dry. A ventilation system, they are good for keeping your home dry as well. So, you know, either a mixture of those or one of those is really important, because getting moisture out of your home is really good, and it stops mould starting to come, and mould's really bad for you.
Well, in Christchurch, we're very lucky in Canterbury. We've got some beautiful old homes.
Yep.
Some of them actually have a bit of the gap thing happening, and there could be potentially drafts happening.
Absolutely. So drafts also not a good thing, because what happens is the draft creates heat loss. So ventilation is good. You might say, well, I've got a good draft system because my house is drafty, so I'm ventilating it. But actually you're ventilating it too much, because what you're doing is through all those gaps you're losing heat. So it's costing you energy to heat those homes, and all the draft is doing is taking all the heat out of your house.
And so you've got those lovely door stoppers there.
Yeah, the door stoppers. I've got one of those in one of the rooms in my house.
Have you just?
I have. It's beautiful. And so it just stops the hot air getting out of your house, but it also stops the cold air getting in as well.
Great. If people, especially in Canterbury, were renovating or doing EQC repair work,
yes,
should we be thinking about our ventilation?
Absolutely, you should. That's really important, and you can get some advice through a program that's being run by the Christchurch City Council, Build Back Smarter, and someone will come into your home and do a free home assessment and help you overcome some of the issues around preventing drafts. So it'd be really good. You get them in the home, and you can get that on the Christchurch City Council website.
Yeah, which is awesome as well. But as well as that, you've got your wonderful website, energywise.gov.nz, on there with a lot of pointers though, haven't you?
There's a lot of information on our website around the things that you can do to improve what we call the thermal envelope of your house.
Okay, but we need to really bring it home to people out there. It's free to have someone come out for an assessment, but it's just going through though the Build Back Smarter
program,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
As simple as that. Because not all of us are that savvy, are we, about doing things for ourselves. So there's a helping hand there for us.
There is a helping hand, and everybody should take advantage of it. Costs nothing.
You heard that there. Robert is asking you to take advantage of him. There you are. We've heard it now, right now. Thanks to Eka. Thank you so much, my friend. And remember, they have a wonderful Facebook page as well. Thanks for more wonderful tips.
Thank you very much.
All right, coming up after the break, one of my favourite ladies to have in here, Phyllis Brown.
Walk with personality, talk with personality, smile with personality, talk.
Welcome back to Canterbury Live. With me now is the lovely Phyllis Brown. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I always catch up with you when you're popping on in. When Andrea's usually hosting, but I see you around and I say hello. How's it going? It's nice to have you back in when I'm in the seat.
Yeah, I know, it's nice to see you.
Now, we're talking personality types, which when I saw this, I was very excited about, because it is something that's really interesting, not just figuring out your own personality type, but figuring out other people around you's personality types as well. So when we're talking personality types, what do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean in terms of the theme for this month in Transform Your Life, it's we get into habits of reacting to certain situations and we become a particular personality.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we all have traits of lots of different types of personality within us. But you know, there are some times when maybe the not so good aspect of ourselves pops up to the surface and we think, oh, I shouldn't have said that like that, or I wish I'd reacted differently. And with Transform Your Life, when you begin to understand what your personality traits are, then you can modify your behaviour and deal or cope with situations on a much better level.
And I guess that also applies to working out other people's personality types to work yours around theirs to have a sort of better relationship and situation going on there too.
It is, because I think that when you do see somebody, so we've got a personality type, say like the rebel, so when you're asking somebody, if you've got teenage children, asking them to do something for you and they rebel against that and they just go, no, I'm not going to do it. If you sort of stop and go, okay, they're in that place, then you might not bite back and then you become the rebel. You're not going to mirror that sort of personality back to them, and then it just escalates, it gets higher and higher and higher. So when we see somebody rebelling against us, then it's about sort of seeing that behaviour, taking a step back and going, well, okay, I was just asking the question, but I'll let you think about that, and you walk away, rather than, as I say, getting into that whole bun fight where you just start
You don't want it to get to that stage, do you? Especially if you can avoid it. Absolutely. So we've talked, you just said the rebel. Tell me a wee bit about the different personality types.
Yeah, well, there are several different types, and this is from my Transform Your Life work with Diana Cooper. And so we've got the pleaser, who people pleases, they want to do everything to be in the good books. And then we've got the rebel, where we're rebelling, we can't take instruction, we don't want help, we do it by ourselves. We've got the driver, and that's somebody who drives things, but it might be to the exclusion of other people. So they're very goal-driven and they're very mind-focused, but they're maybe not compassionate. So they're very ambitious. People would see them as really ambitious or ruthless. We've then got the lazy layabout, and that's a hard one. That's a one where maybe people think, well, what's the point in trying? I'm just going to fail anyway.
I know a lot of people that think that way, yeah.
So rather than doing there might be the once bitten, twice shy, well, I'm not going to go there again. However, there's the other aspect of is try again, and then you'll succeed. And so you want to overcome that sense of failures. There's no point in trying anything. I'm not good enough. And that's quite a hard personality type to try and bring up.
And I guess that can also sort of bring you down as well.
It can bring you down, because you just get exhausted by them. And you're just like, well, what's the point? So you then become the lazy, but what is the point in talking to you? Because you're just not even going to bother. So you've already failed because they're failing as well.
Oh gosh, this is
it's that mirror
it's making
reflection.
A lot of sense to me.
Reflection. You've got the rescuer, and you know, parents want to rescue our children. We don't want them to fail. We don't want them to come to any harm. However, we don't want to be the person that disallows them from learning through experience.
To learn for themselves, yep, exactly.
So we have to pull back. But then we have the victim, who's the manipulator. Oh, I can't do this, oh, poor me. And we've all maybe had a little bit of that ourselves, where we've got the man flu thing going on. So it's just like,
me right now.
oh, I can't go. Then we've got the rationalizer, and that's somebody who creates order out of chaos when they get overwhelmed and they just shut down emotionally, but mentally they're still clicking in, they're still thinking, and they come from that point of view. However, they do maybe suffer from paralysis by analysis, my husband calls it.
I like
They overthink things, so they can't make a decision. They can't make it. You might know some of those as well.
Yeah.
Very big. Then we've got the manipulator, who sort of just, you know, they lack love. And then we've got the martyr. It's okay, I don't need your help. But you are looking at them going, well, actually, you really do need my help, but it's okay, no, I don't need your help.
Now, I could just keep talking about this all day, but we are running out of time. Yep. So if you've got a card along with you today.
So we've got the planet Mars today, and Mars, strong warrior-like planet, but it helps you look at what you're projecting and what's mirroring back to you. If you don't like what you're projecting, change it. And the planet Mars is here to help you do that. So just focus on Mars.
It's nice just having some time with you to just think about yourself, so that you can, you know, really think about yourself and make some changes. I like that, some positive changes. Thank you so much, and you'll be back here again soon anyway, won't you? I'll see you around. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Tomorrow we've got Kiss the Fish, Dry July and Retropolitan. See you then.